How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Osu News. This is the show where we talk about the most important Osu news that happened during the week. Previous week I didn't do an episode because there weren't really any big sort of news topics to talk about, except for one news topic which I've already made a separate video about. But before we start with this episode, be sure to hit that sub button. We're slowly but surely getting closer to 20k subs, which is a pretty big goal that I've been chasing for a pretty long time, so your support would really mean a lot. We've talked about Mrekk on this channel so many times so far, it would be surprising if you don't know who he is. Number one player in Osu, one of the best players that we've ever seen in the Osu community so far, and some people would simply say that he's the greatest Osu player of all time. But for years now, people have been waiting for a player who could potentially compete with Mrekk and maybe even take his number one spot. Most notable example of this was Akolibed, but as of me recording this video, the gap between him and Mrekk is pretty big once again. Actually, last month in February, Mrekk mentioned two players that are currently his favorites, and one of those players actually recently showed that he can climb through the rankings really quickly. You can argue that this guy might be a potential candidate for taking the number one spot as well. So the first player that is Mrekk's favorite is currently Completionist, who is the number one player from Kazakhstan. You may know him as a pretty good tournament player. You may have heard of him from the fact that he is climbing through the rankings really quickly. Also the fact that he managed to set up 1.5k PP play on Save Me. And when he said that 1.5k PP play, Mrekk said that he is one of his current favorite players in the Osu scene. But like I previously mentioned, there is always another. I would like you to meet a player by the name of Xootynator. He is currently the rank 9 Osu player, the rank 2 Australian player, and the reason why a lot of people are impressed by him is the fact that only 38 days ago he was rank 49. Yes, you heard me correctly. In the span of 38 days, this dude went from rank 49 all the way to rank 9 with less than 1k hours of playtime. Now we don't know if Xootynator is an offline player or not, but nonetheless this is still very impressive. A little interesting fact about him is the fact that most of his top plays are actually speed. However, some plays are a mix of speed and aim, and others are just completely DT aim overall. As for Mrekk mentioning something about Xootynator, well, exactly 33 days ago Mrekk tweeted this on Twitter: "Who is the dunk of Osu? My money is on Xootynator." For those of you wondering what does he mean by the dunk of Osu, well, Dunk is a pretty well-known prodigy in the CS community who is absolutely shaking the esports scene as we know it. And well, considering the fact that this dude known as Xootynator went from rank 49 all the way to rank 9 in a pretty short time span, well, you can probably say that Mrekk invested his money in the right place. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire fiasco between Mrekk and Xootynator. Let me know what you think about Xootynator down in the comments. Do you think that he's showing a ton of potential? Just let me know. Also, with recently Xootynator reaching the top 10, 9 Potato is actually no longer a 1 digit. And also another thing is the fact that Zoomer is no longer in the top 10 as well. But other than this, there was another whole fiasco with the NAT, which is the nomination assessment team, which I'm going to explain quickly. So on March 12 of 2024, the nomination assessment team tweeted this: "BN applications will be paused temporarily while we work on some internal changes." Now this seemed like a pretty normal tweet, with the NAT just announcing that BN applications are just going to be paused. But what was eternally going was the crazy part about the NAT. Now there were rumors going around that the NAT might have actually been disbanded, with some pretty good evidence about it even happening. The first thing being that someone from the NAT from the Catch the Beat community got moved into beatmap nomination status literally just a few hours after the tweet got posted, and the fact that another NAT by the name of Sekre, which is also from the Catch the Beat community, posted a tweet where he said that the 9/11 in the Catch the Beat community just happened, which some people have stated that it's a wild comparison to do. I mean, even Sotorx himself has said this in the replies of the original NAT tweet: "Nuke of NAT, only BNs with few BN managers, BN self-manage, revert to old BAT with a yes-no vote to get new BNs," in which the NAT just replied with "Nah, I'd win," which looks like to be the case actually, because a few days later after that got posted, the NAT posted a picture where they just pretty much confirmed that they're not getting disbanded. On top of that, PGFet himself confirmed that the NAT went through a bunch of changes recently and that BN applications will be reopened soon with a different format, believe it or not. But yeah, what are your honest thoughts about the NAT overall? Let me know down in the comments. Also, we gotta talk about something that recently got announced from a tournament. You may have heard of a tournament series by the name of Stellar Series OT. It's a pretty popular tournament that is currently happening. It has a pretty interesting format format compared to the usual tournament format that a lot of tournaments have. However, they recently announced a pretty interesting show match that you may want to watch. The show match is called the SSOT24 The Legends, where a bunch of legends in the Osu community have been invited in a pretty interesting maybe battle royale show match, where Akolibed, Rafis, BTMC, Xootynator, Mrekk, Flyingtuna, WhiteCat, and Kariyu are all going to go up against each other in a show match with a prize pool of $1,000. This is going to happen on the 24th of March 2024. It's going to be streamed on their Twitch channel, so if you want to watch this entire show match, then I'll leave a link in the description to their Twitch. Be sure to follow them if you want to watch this. Other important news that happened this week: the Taiko player by the name of VRNL has completed all of also Taiko, pretty much submitting a score on every single Taiko map. Can't believe I have to say this, but in the Osu in-game chat, the words Skibidi, Gyat, Riz, and Edging are now all censored. A beatmap nominator by the name of KFC Nugget, also known as Natsuko, has been restricted. There was recently a blog post / interview done on BTMC by the Osu devs themselves, so if you want to check it out and maybe even read it for yourself, then I'll leave a link in the description. EZChamp, also known as the champion, is now back into the top 100, being 2-digit again. Medals have finally been added into Osu Lazer. The Osu Clicker's Choice Top 20 Osu Players of 2023 video has been released. I am also featured in this video, so if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. And also recently we returned with the Beat Talk podcast, with our first guest being Strawberry, who is currently one of the most popular Osu Shorts content creators out there. So if you want to know Osu Shorts, what's happening behind the scenes in that scene, and all sorts of stuff like that, then be sure to click the video on screen for episode 7 of the Beat Talk podcast. But that's about it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.